Hello people, I am the Real Comic Book Gamer. Today I'm going to be reviewing Deadpool 2. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review for the first part, and then I'll give you guys a warning before I get into spoilers, because generally I do a spoiler-free review and then a separate video that's a spoiler review. Well, today I'm just going to combine the two, and don't worry if you haven't seen the movie, I will give you a warning before I get into spoilers. So anyways, let's get into it. I absolutely love the first Deadpool. It's one of my favorite comic movies of all time. I think it's a masterpiece. So this one I definitely had high expectations going into, and without Tim Miller, that was a little sketchy to see how things would go out. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't think it stacks up as well against the first one, but overall, I definitely did really enjoy the movie. I want to talk about the characters first. Deadpool, they continue to do a great job of adding depth to the character and making him more than just a Looney Tune. He's not just some crazy guy that says like dick jokes and that's it. That's all there is to his character. No, there's a lot more depth there, and you can see why he makes all his jokes. It definitely makes sense. The whole he does that to cope with the pain and things like that. It actually adds up. It's not just saying that. It actually makes sense that that's the type of character Wade is, and I really like how Deadpool progresses throughout the movie, and he actually has a lesson to learn. I really liked Cable. I wanted more Cable actually, because Cable wasn't in it that much. Like Josh Brolin did a great job as Cable. He was pretty cool, but there just wasn't that much of him. I wanted to see more. And then Domino I liked. I didn't love Domino because her power is kind of like just, hey, she has plot armor, that's her power, and it's like, that's kind of, I mean, she still takes some hits, but for the most part, it's just like, oh, everything goes her way, and it's like, that's a little annoying, but at the same time, that's Domino. But overall, I liked her character, but it wasn't anything I loved. It's like, if she wasn't in the next Deadpool or X-Force, I wouldn't be like, oh no, we have to have Domino. I'd be like, whatever. But if she is, I'm not going to be like, damn it, that sucks that she's here. I hate her character. No, I liked her character. I didn't love her. But Cable, I loved, but he wasn't in it that much. And him and Deadpool had a good back and forth. My main problem with the movie was the kid. I absolutely hated the kid. So it's no spoiler to say that, because it's in the trailer, that the plot of the movie is sort of Terminator-esque, to where Cable comes back in time to kill the kid. Deadpool's like, no, you're not supposed to kill the kid, and that's the basic plot of the movie without spoiling anything. I wanted Cable to kill this kid. This kid was so annoying. Just non-stop. I wanted this kid to die. I'm like, Deadpool, stop defending him. Someone kill this kid. He was the most annoying character in the movie, and he definitely brought the movie down a bit. Every scene he was in would have been better if he was not in it. Now, I don't really blame the actor. It's just the way the character was written, and just they don't do a good job making him likable or having you sympathize with him. You see why the way he is, but it still doesn't help you really sympathize with him. You're just kind of like, yeah, that if that kid died, I wouldn't be sad at all. Not whatsoever. Like, I would hope Cable succeeds in his mission of killing this kid. Honestly, I was rooting for Cable because I hated the kid so much. I really hope he's not in any future movies. It's not like we're the last one, to where pretty much every character there wasn't any character in Deadpool 1 that I didn't like. Like, every character I saw in the first one, I was like, I want more of that character. I want more Colossus. I want more Negasonic Teenage Warhead. But in this, it's like, nah. I wish they would have had more Negasonic Teenage Warhead in this, because she wasn't in the movie very much. I would have liked a little bit more of her in this movie, and less of that kid. I think that would have been better. They would have switched those two out. Also, TJ Miller is so good in this movie. It sucks because in real life, he's just a complete piece of garbage, but he's really talented, and he's great in this movie, and him and Deadpool have a back and forth that is my favorite joke in the entire movie. Those two, they have an exchange that had me just dying laughing. And I really like their characters. And apparently he's not going to be in the next one, which is understandable, because he did some really messed up stuff in real life, like fake bomb threats and things. So he's really, like I said, he's a piece of garbage, but it sucks because he's so good and he's perfect in this role. And I love how he works and how he's a friend to Wade, but he doesn't care about anyone more than himself at all. Just like in the first one, when they're all going to go and track down Ajax and fight him, and he's like, I would go with you, but I don't want to. And Deadpool's like, yeah, I understand, buddy. It's more stuff like that, and I love his character, but he's not going to be in the next one. That sucks. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the story. I liked the lesson that they gave Deadpool. The action was pretty cool. I could have used some more sort of Deadpool action, though, because there are some scenes where they cut back and forth between Deadpool fighting and then another character fighting, and it's like, I want to see more of just Deadpool fighting right there, because his fight scene was way cooler. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. It's just some scenes dragged on too long. I didn't like the kid, and I felt like there was something missing that Tim Miller could have added that the new director didn't. And that's my spoiler-free portion of the review. I can't really say anything else without spoiling things. So there's your spoiler warning. Do not continue watching this if you have not seen Deadpool 2. Unless you don't care, then by all means welcome. But if you do, spoiler warning, do not watch the rest of this. So anyways, I'm getting into spoilers right now. So Vanessa, when they did that at the beginning of the movie, I was like, no, I didn't know if they were gonna actually undo it through time travel, because I couldn't tell. Because I'm like, oh wait, Cable's in this movie. Are they gonna undo it through time travel? Because the first movie did such a good job in investing you in their relationship. Because to me personally, Wade and Vanessa have the best romance of any comic book movie. Like, no, there's no one else that I think even comes close. Like Batman and Rachel in the Dark Knight trilogy, Superman and Lois in any of their movies. I mean, as much as in the comics, they're my favorite couple. In the movies, Clark and Lois aren't that great. Lois generally just falls in love with Superman, not Clark, and no one really nails it very well. Then Spider-Man and Mary Jane in the original Raimi movies. Mary Jane was one of the worst parts of those movies. And then you had Peter and Gwen and the Amazing Spider-Mans, which was all right, but it took up like the entire focus of the movie, so it made you not like it that much. And then, like, Steve and Peggy are okay, but I'm not that invested. Wade and Vanessa, I am so invested from the first movie. They have the best romance in any comic movie. I'm sorry, but you know it's true. Like, I'm so invested because of the lengths and everything he went to get Vanessa back in the first movie, and how great they established their relationship and how they got together. And I just love everything about them together. They have such great chemistry that when they killed her off, I was like, no! You can't do that. You just went through an entire first movie of him getting her back, and now she dies in the first 10 minutes of the first movie. How could you do this? It was great though, and I love that scene where he takes the guy that killed her and hugs him, and I was like, what? Why is he? I'm like, don't be one of those movies, where they do stuff that doesn't add up with the character or anything, where it's like, oh, I've learned my lesson, blah, 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 and this. It's like that character would never do that. He wouldn't just hug the guy and let him live. No, he runs in front of a truck and gets run over with the guy. I love that scene. And again, it was so sad with Vanessa dying. Then when he would occasionally have a mind trip and visit her, and he had a lesson to learn. And then the ending with Take On Me playing, oh my gosh, that version of Take On Me, everything that just hits you. I loved it. I was like, oh, that's so sad. But then they undid everything throughout the course of the movie, and the post credits kind of sucks, but the post credit scene was so amazing, it was kind of worth it. That's actually what Fandango did sort of a Q&A with the writers, and they were talking about how the post-credit scene was so much fun, but it sucked because they undid everything that they did in the movie. And they're like, but we had to do it because of how good the post-credit scene was. And I understand. I'm so torn because, on one hand, I want the movie to actually last, but if everything just is undone, the post-credit scene, then the movie kind of means nothing. But on the other hand, the post-credit scene is so good. It's like the best we might have ever had. Definitely the best we've had in recent memory, because Marvel's been kind of slacking on the post-credit scenes lately. Most of theirs kind of suck lately, but that was so good. And yeah, just that ending where he's there with her and he's turned to normal Wade. He's not like cancer everywhere Wade. And then she's like, it's not your time yet. And Take On Me's playing and pushes him back. I was like, oh man, that's so sad. Especially because, again, you're going off of the first movie where the relationship was built up so well. And then the beginning of this movie where they're talking about how they wanted to have a kid. And it's like, this is how you do it. Because a lot of movies will do stuff like this, but they don't have you invested in the characters or their relationships, so you honestly couldn't care less. That's how a lot of movies have it. But in this, I'm so invested in those two, and I love those two characters. So when they do something like that, it's like, no. But yeah, I love that so much. And I like that Cable's now in that timeline, so that way Cable will be in, so now Cable will be in X-Force, and I'm hoping we get a Deadpool Cable team-up movies like we had team-up comics forever, because I want to see more of those two. I love that. I love the part where he's like, only best friends execute pedophiles together. That was the action scene that I really wanted to see more of, because it kept cutting between them and Domino, and then Colossus and Juggernaut, and I wanted to see more of them, executing those dudes, because that was sick. That was badass. It was like, guess I'll use this brick, and then he's just beating people with a brick. Cable's killing dudes. That was cool. It kept cutting up. Then the scenes to me that kind of dragged on too long were what went on at the prison, where Deadpool was just like, I'm not your friend, kid, blah blah. There was too much of that. Again, I hated the kid, so every scene he was in was kind of like, please just die. But yeah, there was a little bit too much of the whole, hey, I don't want to be your friend, kid, blah blah, I'm trying to die. They could have done that once and we got the gist that, hey, Wade's trying to die and be with Vanessa now, and this kid wants Wade to be his friend, but he won't. We could have got that in one scene, but instead they kept doing it. And then that fight at the prison was really cool with Cable. I actually really like that. That was one of my favorite action scenes of the whole movie. One of my favorite sequences of the whole movie was when they first encounter the kid, and he calls Negasonic Teenage Warhead Justin Bieber, and then he like throws his flames at Colossus, and Deadpool just screams like a little girl and ducks as Colossus goes flying. I love when he pulls out the Deagles too, like showing how like Deadpool is not meant to be an X-Men. As soon as the like stuff goes haywire, he just pulls out the Deagles ready to execute the kid. I love that part. It was great. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to really. Actually, Juggernaut. I had no idea Juggernaut was in this movie. I was really surprised and happy that he was. Because most movies can't keep a secret like that. Almost always there's a leak, like Doomsday at the end of Batman v Superman. We knew that months prior to that movie, to the trailer coming out. Like prior to the trailer even revealing it, there were so many leaks about that to where it was like, oh yeah, Doomsday's in it, he's gonna kill Superman. And it's like trailer reveal. It's like, oh wow, great surprise there. Juggernaut, I had no clue he was in this movie. I kind of figured it out when like he went and visited him in prison and stuff. I'm like, I'm betting that's Juggernaut. And then when they're on the train, I'm like, this has got to be Juggernaut. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback to his appearance in X-Men 3 where he's on the, well, not train, but the truck. Like he was in X-Men 3 and he was in this movie. So I'm like, it's got to be Juggernaut. I thought the CGI was good for Juggernaut. I loved the fight between Colossus and Juggernaut. I also liked the expansion of Colossus in this movie, how we got more and more Colossus. I thought that was cool. I thought Colossus was one of the characters that got like the perfect amount of screen time to where you got enough of them that you wanted, but not so much that he overtook Deadpool to where, oh, it feels more like a Deadpool and Colossus movie than it does just a Deadpool movie. No, it still felt like a Deadpool movie. But yeah, I really liked Juggernaut in the movie. I thought he was pretty cool. And X-Force, it was a little disappointing, but it was hilarious when they all just kind of died, especially Shatterstar, because Shatterstar, I was like, I thought he would be one of the ones to survive when you actually see fight or something, because I like the casting for Shatterstar. I thought they nailed his look. Shatterstar is one of those like sort of C-list, D-list heroes, but the people that do know him are fans of him, so I was like, I want to see Shatterstar, and then just nothing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the review. I don't think there's much else I can say. Overall, I don't really rate things on a scale of 1 to 10 that much, but if I did for this movie, I'd say it's probably like an 8. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's not as good as Infinity War. Granted, it's a completely different movie, but it's not as good as the first Deadpool, in my opinion. I feel like, again, if you watch this movie, especially after watching Deadpool 1, because the night before going to watch this movie, I watched Deadpool 1, and watching them back to back, you can tell that there's something missing there that Tim Miller brought. Tim Miller brought a lot to the first Deadpool that I think he could have brought to this movie, but he wasn't there, so that kind of sucks. But it's still a good movie. It's definitely by no means a bad movie. It's really good. It's worth your time to go see. But yeah, please let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of the movie? And if you do leave spoilers in your comment, please do like a spoiler tag and then several spaces in between. So that way if anyone else is reading spoilers, they don't have to, if they're reading the comments, they don't have to worry about it. But yeah, just comment courtesy for your fellow Deadpool fans. But anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to hear your thoughts on Deadpool in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.
Legends never die, we've been going every night. I've been feeling way too blessed, but with Lex I'm never stressed. They don't know just what we do, we've been out here with the crew. They don't know just how we live, think we got too much to give.